Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Robin, and we've got another installment of Bookends. So this would close out my bookends for January, for 2022. I got all my Christmas things in, that's what I was waiting for, and now I can give you an update and see how we did. In January of 2022, I started off my TBR with 122 unread books physically on my shelves. And my goal was to reduce that. I don't even remember what the goal was. Under 100? I think that was the goal, like 100 or under. And I should have been able to do that. 22 books in the year from my unread shelves. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. No. We're gonna see where I end up today, because last we checked, I was at 131. So I was already over. That was in September. I'm hoping that I somehow stayed around 131, but looking at my stacks of books, the answer is no, I didn't. So let's see where I am. Let's see where I'm kicking off this year at, and let's get into it. Starting off with October, I read a couple of things. Obviously, that's why we're here, to tell you what I read. One of the things I read for Black-A-Ween-a-thon was The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Dalila Harris. Thoughts? Not a fan. And then I had Dasha pick my TBR for October, but I kind of started it late, so it kind of spilled over into November. So in actuality, for that TBR from Dasha, I only read I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Unread, and a book that I cannot find for some reason. I don't know where it would. Maybe a friend has borrowed it. I need to do better with tracking my books in their whereabouts. Not that I have a ton of friends that I lend books out to. There's like 2. So I should check with her and see if she has it. Otherwise, the book got legs and disappeared. But anyways, that was Battle Royale by Koshin Takami. Loved it, had a good time. And that is what I read from my physical shelves in October. Now, did I buy any books in October? No. I didn't feel compelled to buy anything, so I didn't. So we're off to a great start, kind of. I only read 3 books for my physical TBR. Let's move on to November, where I completed my Dasha Pick TBR with Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin and Ray Bearer by Jordan Fuego. So that closed out Dasha's TBR picks for me for October/November. I also read We Were Liars, but I DNF'd it, was not having a good time, so it had to go. I was reading this because a friend bought this for me a long time ago, and I was just like, I should read this. Also in November, I had Jess pick my TBR, and she chose for me, and I read Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulley, 1,000 Splendid Suns by Colette Hosseini, City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, and How High We Go in the Dark by Nagamatsu Sequoia. And I happened to finish all of those books in November. I was so proud of myself, especially considering that I started a few days late because I was still doing Dasha's TBR. And then at the end of November, I did a little read a chapter thing where I had 4 remaining books on my get rid or get read list from the beginning of the year. And so I was just like, I know I'm not going to read all 4 of these books, but let's see if any of them are compelling enough that I actually do want to read it. So I read Lost Among the Living by Simone St. James, well, the first chapter, Choke by Chuck Palahniuk, and I did not want to continue with either of these, so they basically were on hold. So those were all of the books that I got off my TBR in November. I feel like I'm off to a really good start. I feel like I'm really killing it here and that I'm going to be successful. I'm looking at the piles, and I feel like it could be even at this point. I know I'm definitely below 131 right now. Where we're going, I don't know. In November, I decided to go to Barnes & Noble because I hadn't been there for a while. I also wanted to go in and just browse the shelves and look for some things that I had not heard anyone talk about, but like piqued my interest because I kind of miss doing that. So I got a few things. Now, the first two things that I got, one of them I had not heard anybody talk about, but the second thing I had heard people talk about. The first is volume 2 of The Promised Neverland. I started the first, I read volume 1, I don't know, maybe this summer, I think. And so I wanted to continue on, so I got that. I picked up Signal to Noise. This is by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I have really been liking everything that I've read by her so far, and so I wanted to read some more, and so I got this, even though I own 2 other books by her, and I could have just read those, but no, I wanted to add to my collection. But then these were the books that I had not heard anything about. The first of which is The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. Don't ask me what any of these books are about because I read them while I was at Barnes & Noble. But what does that mean now? We're in January. I don't know. I picked up The Second Death of Violet and Evie Bond by Amanda Glaze, Payback's a Witch by Lana Harper, and A Ghost in Shining Armor by Therese Bahari. The last 2 are romances, and so I think they're gonna be cute, light, and fluffy. Will I wait until like October to read them? Maybe, because they're more like spooky season-ish themed. We've got a witch, we've got a ghost. Those 2 I do know about, kind of. And I had some pre-orders come in. I had Gleanings by Neil Shusterman come in. I know that this is a collection of short stories that are written by Scythes in the past. And I thought they were all written by Neil Shusterman, but as I've come to find out, they are not. And then another pre-order that I had was Heart of the Sun Warrior by Sue Lynn Tan. This is the sequel to Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which I really, really loved this year. And so I was excited for this one. I hate that there's this sticker that says signed by the author on there. And I tried to get it off and it was not cooperating. We will try again. We're getting this sticker off. So I got that. And that was November. That's everything I bought in November. I think I'm still in the positive at this point. You will know, you can see it right here. But in my brain and the way that the piles look, it's still saying positive to me. In December, I picked up volume 1 of Sweat and Soap. I also finally picked up So Many Beginnings by Bethany C. Morrow. It is a reimagining of Little Women. I've been meaning to pick this up forever, and I finally did it. It was between this or rereading Little Women, and I thought, why reread something I already know that I love when I can read this and decide if I love it for myself? And then remember how I just told you that I did a try a chapter thing for the remaining 4 books of the books that I need to read before the end of the year? Well, I read them. I picked up Utopia by David Nichol. I got a little over 100 pages in, and it was a no. Too much weird stuff was happening, and not weird in like a good way, weird in like a what the fuck is this? And there were like monsters, but we're also talking about eugenics and trying to create the perfect utopian town in like Idaho or something. It was weird. All of it was weird, and I didn't like it. I think it was at the point where there were these people that were having sex with Satan and trying to procreate with him. That's when I was out. That's when I was out. So DNF. And then there was Time and Again by Jack Finney. This was about a time traveling dude who gets caught up in this government project to time travel back to places. And I got to about 150 pages of this, and then I was no longer interested. It was very long and very boring, and it was probably longer than actually trying to discover how to time travel. So that also had to go. Fun for me reading a chapter of each of those books and then ending up not reading any of them. It's December. It is the time for gift giving. And people wonderfully gave me books as gifts. And I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. I love every book that I've gotten. Have I read them? No, but I still love them. I love that they came from people that I absolutely adore. And a few for myself. But I did not go crazy. And it is January 2nd as I film this, and I still have a gift from my brother on the way, and I know that they're books, so, but that doesn't count because they didn't come in December. Getting into the gifts, the first one I got was The Stories We Tell by Joanna Gaines. My friend got me this. I love Joanna Gaines. I love me some shiplap, but I think that this is about like the stories we tell about ourselves and something. I don't know. I don't know what half of these books are about, so let's not start that. But that was a very great gift. I appreciate that from him. And then Bonnie from Books with Bonnie gifted me Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma. And I fell in love with Hope by Lan Colley. I don't actually know what this is about, but I love this cover. And it just seems like it's gonna go with my melancholy heart. So thank you, Bonnie, for these two. I'm very excited to get to them. I'm very excited to get to all of these. I know I say this every time, but I really am. And then from my sweet, sweet Ray, she got me The Dating Playbook by Farah Rashan. So she got me to read The Boyfriend Project when it was her turn to pick my TBR, and I loved The Boyfriend Project, and I was really excited to continue on with the series. But of course, again, I only had the first book in the series, and so I didn't have the rest, but she got me The Dating Playbook. But then she also got me Homicide and Halo Halo by Mia P. Manansala. Very excited for these two. You can never go wrong with light, fluffy books. And then Joshana got me We Are Never Meeting in Real Life by Samantha Irby, but I hope that this does not mean that me and Joshana will never meet in real life, because I think we would just have such a fun time if we were to ever meet. And then she also got me Wahala by Nikki May, which she did not enjoy. And so I'm very, like, I feel like me and Joshana, our tastes align a lot. And so I'm very curious to see if I'm gonna like this or not. Nat from Nerdy Nat Reads gifted me Radium Girls by Kate Moore. Yep, that says Kate Moore. And this is a nonfiction. I know that I don't know a whole lot about what happens, but I do know that people like lose teeth, they get cancer from radium. I think it was painting like something on a watch. I don't know. I'm excited for this one. I don't know what that says about me, but thank you, Nat. Amber from Books of Amber gifted me Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. I don't know much about this book. Like, I know absolutely nothing about this, except that I know a lot of people were saying that it was good and like twisty, and so I'm here for the twisty. I think somebody's like drawing pictures and the pictures come to life. I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. I don't need to know. I own it now. So thank you, Amber, for that. I think this is gonna be a good time. And then Monae from Life is Monae gifted me The Push by Ashley Audrain. I know that this is a psychological thriller. That's all I need to know. She requested that I vlog it, so perhaps I shall. I don't know what that means. Am I gonna be like fucked up for this? I don't know. It still could be a very good time. So thank you, Monae. And then Paige from the PMreader gifted me Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, and I'm hoping that we will get a chance to buddy read this together in the new year sometime. At what point does the new year stop being the new year and it's just the year? And then my sweet, kind mother gifted me some books from my wish list. That means that she went to one of my videos, clicked the link, and then bought books from there. She's cute. She's adorable. But she bought me The Between by Tanana Reeve-Dew. I'm very excited for this because I read The Good House in October, and it was so fucking good. And I want to read more Tanana Reeve-Dew. I need more. I need more. She also got me Somebody's Daughter by Ashley C. Ford. I hear that this is a really great memoir. She also got me The Removed by Brandon Hobson. Don't remember what this is about, but I love this cover. I'm here for the shits. And then my mom was so cute. She was like, we can talk about these books. You can tell me all about them when you're done reading them. Mom, if you're watching, I know you're not gonna read these, but I'll still tell you about them anyway. So those were all gifts that I got from my beautiful, fun, talented, smart booktube friends, and my mother, who is all of those things as well. And then I got myself a few things. First was 24/7 Embodying Christ-Like Leadership. My friend had a book signing. She wrote this book, Leslie Copeland, and so I went there to support, and I had to buy her book, so now I have this book. I will read it. I will read it. I also picked up Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm reading this with a group of friends, and we decided we're going to talk about it in January. I'm hoping that it'll help me establish and maintain some habits for a productive 2023. And then because Ray got me the dating playbook, I could not have another incomplete series on my shelf, so I picked up The Hookup Plan by Farah Rashan. So now I have all of the books in the series and I can read them all. And then I picked up The Mothers by Britt Bennett. I really loved The Vanishing Half, and so I wanted to read her first book, and so I picked that up. And then in November, I read City of Brass, and I was so mad at myself because immediately I wanted to read the next book in the series, and I could not because I didn't own them. And I guess I could have gotten them from the library. But yeah. So I bought myself Kingdom of Copper and Empire of Gold. What order they go in, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I picked them up so that I could immediately get into them and figure out what happens to my precious Dara and hear all of this, see Ali become a better person, or at least a more interesting person. We'll see. Doubtful. Yeah, that is everything that I got for Christmas for myself and in December. And if you watched this far, or fast forwarded, whatever, then you'll know. You'll know that I am well over where I started in the beginning of the year and at the end of September. Hopefully, I will get down way more than 130. Please send me all of your well wishes and good vibes. I'm gonna need it. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching this mess and seeing how spectacularly I failed Bookends. I hope you'll join me for my next video, whatever that's gonna be. I don't know when this is going up. And you'll continue on my Bookends journey with me. And until next time, bye.